Yo, what is up everyone? Tachi here. So today we are going to be talking about the new banner that's going to be dropping in a couple of hours probably, and whether or not it's actually worth pulling on. So obviously let's talk about the basics. As you should be aware by now, this banner is going to be coming with Crusher Snow White. So just off the bat, automatically, if you want to collect drops and you like Snow White like myself, I would suggest at least pulling a little bit. Don't waste all your crystals on this, obviously, because as you guys are aware, again, the near banner is going to be dropping in approximately 8 days. So I would save the vast majority of them for that. Now, that being said, obviously, I do want Snow White, but I will tell you guys ahead of time that the hammer is not that great in terms of like mid-long term. So you are likely to replace it probably within the next 4 to 6 months, if not less. So personally, I don't think the weapon is that great. Obviously, we are in a state right now where we don't really have that many weapons anyways. So it's not necessarily like bad for you. You will obviously use it, but I don't know how long that usage is actually going to be for. And again, it is a very limited usage. So whether or not it's worth pulling on if you don't like Snow White, I would say probably not, at least not just for the weapon. Now, the second class that is available, which you guys might not be aware of, is a Little Mermaid Breaker. Now, this is an S rank sword, so weapon wise, it's not that great. The skill that it comes with is not that great. It's Icicle of Leeching, which if you guys are unfamiliar, the leeching skill set, regardless of what the prefix of it is, leeching means lifesteal. So based on the damage you do, you regain some of that HP. It's the same as the Love and Hate sword that you can buy, except it's a lower variant, so you heal less. And the Colosseum support skill is P attack support. It's a fixed chance. I don't know what the exact chance is. I'm sure if I like dive into JP stuff, I'd probably find it, but let's just assume it's a pretty low chance of slightly increasing your own physical attack when attacking. So that's pretty much one stack of an attack buff, which is pretty decent. Personally, I wouldn't say this weapon is very good either. Obviously, again, we are in a situation where we don't really have that many weapons anyways. So I'm likely, if I do get it, hoping, if I do get it, I will be raising it to SR just because I really need more swords in my grid. And on top of that, being able to raise my own attack, being self-reliant in terms of buff is pretty helpful right now. I think I had one buffer this guild war, which is not a great idea. The coordination on the lower end, the non-top 5, not that great. Now, I will say, I got gypped a little bit. I was top 5, as you guys can see there, but my motherfucking saint threw me out of top 5 like 4 minutes before guild war, so I didn't have time to swap my grid. So I was a little screwed there, but that's fine. We talk about that in private, motherfucker. Meet me in the parking lot. Anyways, other than that, there's one more thing about this banner that I think personally makes it worth pulling on, at least for people who spend money. Sort of for free to place, but this is an issue with free to place, and what I'm about to say is the chance of you getting this is very slim. So yeah. The other thing available on this banner is Eros, Avatar of Gluttony, and she is a nightmare. She's an SR nightmare, and she has greatly reduced SP cost of all skills to all allies. Not only just that, she has fairly high stats, at least compared to most nightmares right now, most of the ones you happen to have. At max level L rank, she does have about 6,966 total stats, which definitely puts her up there. In fact, that actually puts her about 200 higher than Lindworm. So just pure stat wise, she's one of the best nightmares just in stat stick. You might think that in Colosseum, well, wouldn't boosting the damage that you do be more important? Now, while that might be true sometimes, I would like to point out that if all your skills cost significantly less to do, that means that you can do all things more often, and you don't have to purify in Colosseum as often, which, as you guys are aware by now, is sort of almost like a waste of time that you're forced to do. So instead of being in purification for so long, for basically 2 full minutes of this buff being up, you can just use all your attacks, and you don't have to immediately go into purification. It's not a big deal. You can spam all you want. You don't have to worry about it. Now, at least as far as I'm told, she has a pretty long usage in JP, so you will likely be using her in like the midterm, perhaps even long term in our perspectives. We're talking at least like 6 months, 8 months and whatnot. We're talking for a pretty long time. So she's a pretty good investment in terms of nightmares. Now, that being said, as you guys are aware, again, the pull rate for nightmares is 0.03% each. So the chance of you getting her is pretty slim. Like I said, if you are lucky enough to get her, congratulations. This is just one extra reason why you should pull on the banner. But obviously, like most people know by now, these units are not locked to this banner. They will be on other banners. I don't know what the correct terminology is. I suppose you should say they're like global units. So they will be in other banners in the future as non-rated units. But obviously as non-rated units, that means your chance of getting them is significantly lower. So if you happen to like any of these units, I would highly suggest that you actually try to get them. But in my case, I'll probably only spend like 1,200 of my 3,000 something diamonds. Actually, you know, maybe I'll spend a little bit more now that we're getting raids, which is an entirely different topic I'll have to go into after in another video or something like that. Since we are getting raids and you do get crystals from raid, maybe I can invest a little bit more, but I will likely not do more than like 5 or 6 pulls tops. Either way, that is the end of this video. Hopefully you guys found it informative. If you did, hit the like button, share it around. If you guys want to see future guides and or gameplay videos, hit the subscribe button. I'm out. Have a nice day.